Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier In The Air. Season 4, Episode 6. So for those of you that are new, welcome. I hope you will enjoy this little corner of the internet that I consider mine. And for those of you who've been here before, it's another good show coming to you. So today is Sunday, February 12th. For some people, a couple people, I don't know that many people across the country, may be a little bit excited for something that's called Superbowl. And I know that there's two teams out there that their fans are very excited for it. And I know a lot of people here in Texas are not going to be excited because their team's not in it. Luckily, I don't have a team, so it's all the same to me. However, there is always a gambling component when it comes to sports, so I am in for that. So it looks like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be playing today. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm trying to get this show done and in the bag before Super Bowl starts, so that way you might want to take some time and watch it before or after, or anytime during the week, of course. For everybody that's new, welcome. This is a little, like I said, a corner where I do things a little weird. No politics, no religion. There's enough podcasts and vlogs, however you want to call it, out there already for that, so there's no need for me to get involved with that at all. So you will find some weirdness, some oddness, and hopefully take away a little good and healthy knowledge for you. So, for example, we're going to start out the show with Trash in the Hood, which is just a little four-way into my neighborhood here in Cedar Park, where when I am able to go out and walk, and this week was almost as bad as last week, I was able to get out once this week and pick up some trash, but I found a good amount of trash. I try to get out 3 to 4 times a week, and I'll talk a little bit more about that during our Healthy After 50 section. There will be a bottom line, a new episode there, and there will also be a Zen Moment. So I'm gonna try my very best to try to keep this around 30 minutes. I've been failing lately, so let's go straight into Trash in the Hood. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood. Okay, so here you have what doesn't look like as much, except you have to include the box with it. So the box was actually part of the trash I found up on El Salito. Bottom left is about 30 cigarette butts, and then various different receipts, plastic, paper, soda cans, cigarette boxes, candy wrappers, and a weird mask. You can't see it from there. Some latex gloves, and the usual just bits of debris. So there you have the only day that I was able to get out and get some trash, which was day 1, which was Monday, week 29. Last week I don't call it a walking week because I wasn't able to get out at all due to the ice and rain and bitter cold. So, but I am out. I will be out 2 to 3 times this week at least. So I'll be more excited about that. I do still have, which I'm sure a lot of you have, a lot of trees and stuff like that I've broken down. I need to drag to the front. All the stuff that I've broken down is already in the front. By the way, for those of you in the Austin Cedar Park area, which I am in Cedar Park, they are still trying to schedule services as to when they're going to come out and pick up all this branches. Now, they do offer different options. Yesterday and next Saturday, the 18th, yes, I still have the allergies. Thank you very much for asking about those. They are going to offer a debris or branch drop-off. I don't remember where it is, but you need to look at the either City of Austin or the City of Cedar Park or the city that you're in. I'm sure they're doing something like this as well, where you're able to go between the times of 9 and 1, I believe, at the time, and you can bring branches unbundled in your truck or on a trailer and have them dropped off. You do need to be a resident of whatever city that you are doing this at. The second option they offer is go out and pay for it. If you're that concerned about not waiting like everybody else is for the most part, then pay for a service to haul off your branches. And the city was pretty, not snarky, but they were pretty like, hey, either wait or pay. That's how it is. Option number three is to actually bundle your branches and put them out on the curb like you would be for bulk pickup. Now, they did waive the length. Normally, it's about 3 foot wide and about 40 pounds. Now they're saying 4 foot wide chunks that are bundled together and that are about 40 pounds. So I did a little of both. If for whatever reason the pickup crew this week picks up my bundled and then leaves the unbundled, I may just bundle them as well just to make it easier for when they come by. But I know there is talk of a crane picking that up. So check in your area, no matter what city you're in. If you're in Texas, if you're still not in Texas, then chances are you're probably still in the bitter cold. So just hunker down and have some hot cocoa on me. Okay, so let's now go to. I know we're trying to keep this short, but I keep elaborating on stuff, so and I keep talking way too long. But hey, until I can get a co-host to come on the show every now and then, this is who you get. You get me. Okay, so let's go to our. Why don't we do our bottom line, and then we'll come back and we'll do our Zen moment, and then lead into healthy after 50. So here's our bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents Bottom Line. Fans, when have you gone too far? Hey everyone, welcome to another Bottom Line. So I thought this was the appropriate topic to talk about today, it being Super Bowl Sunday for most people out there who are going to be watching the show for many hours. So I had this conversation with a couple people at my office when we were having a lunch break one day. And we were talking and kind of laughing about some of the super fans that you'll see, that you'll probably see tonight, and that you have seen across your lifetime as you watch different sports, your different team, your college team, your high school team, your university, your professional team that you like to watch, be it basketball, football, soccer, and so on. So there comes a time when, and I'm not talking. I don't really think I'm talking about super fans. A lot of the super fans that are out there, the ones that paint themselves from head to toe. Old Gladys that's been there for 50 years and she still cheers on her team. Some of the other super fans that they talked about on NPR this week. I'm not necessarily talking about those because people are enjoying the witty banter that they have and the different dances that they do and the different things that they do to keep the spirits motivated of their team and the fans around them. The ones I'm talking about are the fans that go a little bit more than over the top. Over the top to me personally is dressing up head to toe in your team's colors, shirtless perhaps, or scantily clad, out in 50 degree, 40 degree, 30 degree weather, cheering on your team, and then getting very inebriated or not. I can't say for sure that all these fans, not super fans, but well, they could be super fans, but more often than not, likely they're not. That get drunk and cause a ruckus. And I use the term ruckus loosely. We all know it's like fighting and cussing and throwing beer at people, perhaps innocent bystanders getting in the way and everything. It's good to cheer for your team. It's good to have a team to cheer for. It's good that you are excited about your team. It is a great way to detach yourself from the daily grind that is work or school or whatever you may be in, and detach and enjoy the team for the sport that they play. I like watching a good college football game. I like watching a good college basketball game. The professional sports, not so much, just because I have different opinions on that, but and also I don't have a team, which was very upsetting to the point of almost having to get into a fight because I didn't have a team. But that was like 20 years ago. So some of these fans that are enjoying the performance or the competition that is going on um, should certainly enjoy it. Yell, scream, uh, everything that you can to keep your team, hopefully keeping your team motivated if they can hear you amongst the other 20, 50, 100,000 people that are there. Um, but it makes it exciting for you, and I'm all for that. Personally, if you want to do that, that is fantastic. The issues I have are with some of these fans that feel like they have to enforce their uh, joyfulness onto others, or resent the fact that somebody else for the other team has a fan right next to him. you know, cheering for your team and jeering at the other team, it's going to happen, and I'm all for that. When it starts and when it starts pushing into other people's joy, then I have a problem with it. And unfortunately, I have seen that a lot. I remember being at a Spurs game, enjoying the game, and I'm just not one to get overly enthusiastic about a team. I'm just not, even for anything. Even, I mean, I've had great seats in the past. I've seen some great teams, and I enjoy watching the game. I don't have to be an outwardly person yelling and screaming to enjoy the game or enjoy my team. So I remember one time when I was in I want to say in my 20s, my father had some tickets, and so we went and saw a Spurs game. And the person next to me actually got drunk at the game, which was fine. So we were talking and joking, but he was up and cheering and everything. And then he became a little belligerent when I didn't get as enthusiastic as he did for the Spurs, um, to the point where he was angry and was like, "I can't believe I'm, effing sitting next to you." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I like the Spurs. I'm just not going to go all out and go crazy for it." So, of course, he didn't understand it. And that made him become, like I said, lightly belligerent. So, fortunately, the game ended. We all went home. Whatever. But there's many people out there like that will get um, quite angry at people who aren't enjoying the game as they enjoy the game. And that's where I start having a problem. So you can enjoy yourself and not show any outward emotion. You can enjoy yourself and show unbelievable amounts of emotion, and both people could still be enjoying the game on the same level as matter, according to them. So cheer all you want. That's great. That's exciting. That maybe that's why I don't look like I'm enjoying a game as much as others, because I'm sitting there enjoying. I'm looking at the plays that they're running, who's doing what can they do, and then I think about, well, what can they do, and to me that's enjoyable. That's how I enjoy a game. Um, so it's not. I don't like, probably why I don't have a team either, because I enjoy both sides when they have good plays, and I enjoy both sides when things go wrong for both sides, because that's just also fun to watch at times. So there is a lot of people that will, like I said, take it personally that are not enjoying the game as much as they do, which I always found a little interesting and odd, because what does it matter if I'm enjoying the game um, differently than you are, or you think that I'm not enjoying the game because I'm not as rowdy and as rambunctious as you are. So really, it's just a matter of enjoy yourself, but don't try not to let other people bring you down. I never understood why me just enjoying the game without getting ultra excited is depressing for somebody else. But there we are. Of course, there usually a lot of beer is involved, maybe even some alcohol that got snuck into the game. Who knows? Who knows if perhaps they may be in other things, or they could just be straight out sober as Sunday, and still not be happy that other people do not enjoy the game as much as they do in the same way that they do. So the bottom line here is, if you want to watch a game, enjoy it how you want to enjoy it. If that involves you getting painted from head to toe, putting on a funky wig, and strutting up and down the aisles, go do it. Have more power for you. Do it. However, if somebody enjoys it the way they want to enjoy it, it is not you who has to tell them you have to enjoy it differently. Everybody enjoys things differently, and that's the bottom line. So some of you have, and by the way, that was bottom line. So some of you have asked about times when I wear hats and different things like that. Specifically this hat, which is interesting to only a few people. But this is the school that my oldest sister's son, my nephew, went to school up in Pennsylvania. And so it was called Tatnall, and he was on the track and field team and did a lot of events there. And so I got a one from, I don't know if he got it for me or my father got it for me, but either way, it's here, and people were wondering what that actually meant. So that's what it actually meant. And speaking of my oldest nephew, he is going to be getting married this August, so I'm very excited about that. And in fact, I get to be in the wedding itself, so that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be up in Ambler, Pennsylvania. For those of you who don't know, I didn't know. You may want to look it up and see where it is on the map. It's a little bit outside of Philadelphia. It's a bit northwest, but not too much outside of Philadelphia. And so I will be heading that way in August, and you will get to see. I might even do at least recording for a podcast while I'm out there. So that goes to Nando. Congratulations to Nando and Cameron, who are going to get married at that time. So, all right. So let's go from that bit of joy to another bit of joy. Let's check out our Zen moment for today. Like sands in an hourglass, so are the memories in your mind. So is your time. Time can go fast or slow, and all that we know is time, like an old friend, walks us home. Okay, so there is our Zen moment for today. Maybe that will recharge your batteries going into the Superbowl for you. I've been asked from time to time about the music that I use, and I get it from my editing software. So I use Wondershare Filmora, their latest version, and it comes with some free music, royalty-free music, I should say, and that I can use for my intros and for in-betweens, and then for my introductions to the sections. And so they don't always have the band or musician who did it. For example, that one there from the Zen Moment was just called Thousands 15, and so don't know who did it. But if you are that interested in knowing who did a piece of the music, shout out, let me know what episode you were watching and where, and I will do my best to get that information to you. Okay, so moving right along, let's get to our Healthy After 50 section, talking about mentality. Dark Frog Social Media presents Healthy After 50. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Healthy After 50, or another section of the episode, I should say. So today we're going to talk a little bit about mentality, mental acuity, and how to keep yourself sharp, basically, is what I'm trying to get to. So if you haven't noticed by now, as you hit the 50 mark and start moving beyond it, which I am already a couple years myself. Um, and I know others that are further beyond than that, no names here. We start noticing that our memory may not be what it was, what it once was. So you have to start thinking to yourself, what can I do to try to keep my mind sharper? Now, some of you may be in an industry still working that your mind is as sharp as it ever been because you've been constantly having to use it, abuse it, think tank it, thought shower, whatever you want to call it. And so your brain is there, and it's there, and it's there, and it's there, and you're able to recall things from your childhood, and you're able to recall, you know, Susan X, who you talked to 15 years ago for 5 minutes on some project that you worked on, but you still remember her. You know what you did in grade school, what you did in elementary school, what you did in high school and college. You know, which could be years and years and years ago. Some of the things and some of the things that I've noticed are more having to do with the further away it is. Short-term memory for me is still good. You should always try to check your short-term memory as well. But long-term memory starts getting a little fuzzy depending on what you're groping for, what you're trying to get back in your mind. Now, just recently, I was at a friend's house and we were having like a high school reunion. I think, oh, I'm sorry, a grade school reunion. We talked a little bit about it on the show about 4 episodes ago, and it was real fun, and it was amazing to myself that I was able to remember as much as I did on some of the people that I probably haven't talked to in almost 40 years. So it was a good little test of memory there. So, excuse me. So for some of the things that that I've talked about in the past, so that some of the items, some of the nuances, some of the history that I talk about, I'll look up sometimes, and sometimes I'll know off the top of my head. So it's hard for me to judge what, if anything, if I'm slipping for the most part. But good news is that unless you actually have a degradation that you've been diagnosed with when it comes to your memory and that sort of thing, where it's kind of a little bit beyond your control, there are always things, tips and tricks that you can do to try to keep your mind sharp, especially the older that you get. Number one, games. Games are a way of keeping your mind mentally sharp because you have to think about the game itself, rules of the game, and how are you going to beat somebody that you're playing that game against. Perfect example for myself and my neighbors, the Pavlovskis, we play a lot of Moon. And Moon is kind of an older game of one of the variants of dominoes. And it's also a lot like a mishmash of like hearts, spades, and it's even very similar to the game 42 that a lot of people love and still play. But this is a slightly different variant, and it does require you to have a strategic mind when you try to figure out how you can play and win, and how you might be able to cause your competitors to not win. So there's a very good strategic component to it, and strategy games like that are very important for helping the mind to remain sharp. Even any card game really, even poker, playing for money or not, will also keep you sharp when you play against other people. Single games, if you want to do it by yourself, crossword puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, Sudoku, anything along the lines where you have to think beyond just your normal, I get up, I get breakfast, I go to the TV room, I watch TV, and then and then it's nighttime, and I go, no, that, which is great, and the mind loves to find ways for you to be efficient, may not be the best thing for your mind. So it's efficient, yes, but it also puts you in a rut where you don't have to think. And things like that sometimes are what may sometimes go. So you want to try to keep and your brain as sharp as possible by doing other things on top of that. Now, some of the weird things that I've been known to do is to try to learn a memory and learn a poem. I learned this in a memory book many, many years ago. Try to learn a poem. If you have a poem that you've always liked, try to learn the entire poem. Try to learn it by memory. And then if you want to take a step further, and this is outside of mental, but more about personal growth and overcoming one's shyness, you can go to a written word or spoken word event, like an open mic night, where you could just get up there and repeat the poem. There's many poems I like. One of the ones is "Do not go gentle into that good night," and I, from time to time, try to see if I can recall bits of it, and I'd like to learn the whole thing because it's a great poem. And maybe one day I'll go out to a spoken word event and actually speak it. So that's something that you can do. One of the things they tell you to do also that I've done before is start from 1,000 and work your way backwards by different numbers. For example, 4. It's amazing how your mind will find patterns to make it easy for you. But you can start 1,000, 996, 992, 988, 984, 980, 976, 972. And you see how easy it is for me. It's because I've done this many, many, many times, and my brain has found a pattern and made it easy for me to just subtract 4, subtract 4, subtract 4, almost. I don't want to say instantly, but it's right there. And thing is, your mind will learn that and it'll become easier. So then you move on to the next number. Now 5s are pretty easy, but say you move on to 6s. So you go 994, 980, 988, 982, 976, 970. See, and then your brain starts finding patterns again, and you start going further and further down till you reach 0. And if you can do that a number of times, then you go to the next number. So the upside to this is that you can do this while you're watching TV. You can do this when you're out for a walk. You can do this when you're exercising. Even if you're listening to music, you can still count backwards in your head. And I find it quite fun to see that. But then again, you may find that odd about me, but that's how it is. So things like that. Other things you can do is try to remember your family's birthdays, month, date, and year. And how far away is that from your month, date, and year? How old are you? What's the age difference between that? So anything you can do like that. And you can do this at any time. And that's the beauty of trying to keep your brain sharp, is that you can find time to do this without taking time away from anything else, really. So I recommend any and all those things that I talked about. I do pretty much all of them, and it's a great way to keep your mind sharp as we progress, and as the world allows for our age to get longer and longer. We want to keep ourselves sharp because no one wants to lose a memory or lose the ability to think for themselves. So remember games and count backwards from 1,000 if you're going to remember anything else. Hopefully you remember it. Thanks a lot, everyone. Okay, to keep my try to keep my promise that I would try to be close to 30 minutes as I can. I am doing spirit time, and then we're going straight into goodbye. So the spirit time this week is Rondel Cava Brut, and this is basically a champagne. I had an extra bottle left over from January, and it's not a big bottle, by the way. This is it right here. See if you can see the Brut. There it is. There it is. So, sorry, I opened this earlier. So, champagne. And I went ahead and figured that since I didn't do any champagne in the beginning of the year, that I might as well do it now. Actually, my cupboards were pretty bare, and I actually came across this one, so I was like, hey, why not? Okay, so this is Brute. This is Champagne, Skull, Salute, however you want to call it. This is exactly what I think about when I think about champagne. Now, I'm not, excuse me, a champagne connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination. By any stretch of the imagination. But when I have champagne, this is what all champagnes to me taste like so far. I mean, I haven't had any super high end. I haven't had any real nasty ones. So this is actually pretty good. I like it. Uh, since I'm not a huge fan of champagnes, and I heard you can also add strawberries to this, and I'm not going to try it today. Um, but still pretty good. I'm going to give this a 6 thumbs up. And it's pretty good. So if you have any congratulatory events, or maybe even you want to celebrate the Chiefs and or the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and you still have time, you may not have time to get champagne today, though. It may be a little late. But any next event or series of events or anything that you do, you might want to get some of this. It's pretty good. So this is Cava Rondell Brute. And that's it for the show. I'm going to go straight into the goodbyes from here. So I want to thank everybody for watching it. For those of you who may have never watched it before, this is your first time, please let me know what you think about it. Any thoughts, comments, suggestions, just let me know. If you want to be on the show, you have something you're passionate about that you'd like to talk about, just shoot me a message. Reach out to me on the street when I'm out picking up trash. However you get a hold of me, get a hold of me. If you'd like to be a co-host on the show, I'm still looking to get a person to come in from time to time and co-host with me. I'd love to do that. We can do it here, or we can do it even over Zoom and just do it one day. I think it would be fantastic, a personal goal of mine. If you have a mom and pop organization that you'd like to promote on the show, whether they're local or not, just let me know. If they're local, I'll try to get out there. If they're not, we can certainly do a Zoom event without a problem. Okay, so I hope everyone has a good week. I hope your team wins if you have a team tonight for the Super Bowl. Also, I hope you enjoy the commercials. If you have a favorite commercial, let me know. Maybe I can get a snippet of it on the air, or at least talk about it. Okay, so everybody have a good rest of your evening. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and I will see everybody again next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.